in these waterways to get water.
The underground system was dug by hand over decades with the simplest of tools. The technology was developed by Persians about 3,000 years ago.
In the heart of one of the most desolate deserts on Earth, a mysterious ancient city once thrived. Its existence fueled by a remarkable water management system that defied the harsh landscape.
These are the people that bring water to the cities. These are the people that dig canats, the veins of the desert.
Saraf, a bustling Persian port city, was built in an area where water was virtually non-existent, yet it flourished. How did they achieve this seemingly impossible feat? Archaeologists have uncovered a complex network of underground channels and ingenious methods that turned one of the driest places on Earth into an oasis of life and trade. What secrets did the ancient Persians harness to survive and prosper where no one should have been able to? The answer may rewrite everything we thought we knew about ancient desert civilizations. The mystery of Saraf. How could an ancient city, sitting in one of the world's driest and most unforgiving deserts, thrive for centuries? Saraf, once a vital Persian port city, might just hold the answer to one of the most perplexing mysteries of ancient history. Nestled on the rocky slopes above the Persian Gulf, Saraf was a bustling hub of trade that managed to feed its population, grow crops, and sustain an entire economy in a region where water was scarce and rainfall was erratic. So, what was their secret? How did they manage to secure a constant water supply in a place where no natural springs existed? For centuries, historians and archaeologists assumed that the rectangular holes on the mountainside above Saraf were nothing more than burial sites, graves left by the city's long-gone inhabitants. But this theory failed to explain why so many of these so-called graves were scattered across a barren mountain range with no apparent connection to a burial ground. There were no remains, no bones, just strange geometric shapes etched into the rock. As excavation teams dug deeper, something extraordinary was uncovered. The holes weren't graves at all. They were part of a far more sophisticated and ingenious water management system. Archaeologists soon realized that the holes were cleverly designed to catch and store the water from rare flash floods that swept down the mountainsides during the rainy season. These flash floods, while a nuisance to the average desert traveler, became a source of life for the people of Saraf. The holes acted as reservoirs, collecting as much water as possible before it was lost to erosion. Water that would have otherwise been swept away was trapped in these depressions, where it could be stored for later use. But that was just the beginning of Saraf's remarkable water system. The ingenuity of the people of Saraf didn't stop at creating these reservoirs. They took it a step further by using a sophisticated network of underground channels, known as canats, to transport the water from these reservoirs down to the city. These canats, underground aqueducts, were dug with incredible precision, extending for miles beneath the Earth's surface. This not only protected the precious water from evaporation under the scorching desert sun, but it also kept the water clean and fresh, suitable for drinking and agricultural use. The canats became the lifeblood of the city, feeding everything from grain fields to date palms and olive groves. In a city located in an area with no natural fresh water sources, this ability to harvest and store water was nothing short of miraculous. The canat system allowed the residents of Saraf to not only survive but thrive in an environment that would have otherwise rendered settlement impossible. It is believed that these water systems were built by generations of highly skilled engineers who worked tirelessly to adapt and refine the design. The city itself was a marvel of engineering, with intricate structures and clever use of available resources to ensure the community had a steady supply of water. But how did Saraf become such an important port in the first place? Situated along an ancient trade route, Saraf was perfectly positioned to serve as a hub for merchants traveling from India, Africa, Southeast Asia, and even China. The city's strategic location, combined with its unique water supply, made it an ideal place for ships to stop and stock up on water before continuing their journey across the vast Arabian Sea. Trade in valuable goods like spices, textiles, and metals flourished in Saraf, and the city's wealth grew. creating a thriving economy despite its seemingly inhospitable environment. Sadly, Saraf's prosperity was short-lived. In 977 CE, a devastating earthquake struck, severely damaging the city's infrastructure and disrupting its water systems. As trade routes shifted and new ports rose to prominence, Saraf's importance waned. With the collapse of the city, the once pioneering water systems fell into disuse, and the knowledge of how to maintain them was lost. The people who once called Saraf home moved away, and the city was abandoned, leaving behind only the remains of its sophisticated water management system. Today, as researchers piece together the story of Saraf's rise and fall, the discovery of its water system challenges long-held beliefs about ancient desert civilizations. How did the Persians manage to create such an advanced system in an area where modern technology would struggle to do the same? And what happened to this incredible knowledge after the city's demise? The mystery of Saraf may still hold the key to unlocking lost technologies that could have far-reaching implications for our understanding of ancient engineering. Could Saraf's water management systems, designed over 1,000 years ago, provide insight into how we might address water scarcity in today's world? The water harvesting genius of Saraf. What if the key to understanding ancient water management was hidden in plain sight? As researchers dive deeper into the mysteries of Saraf, they are uncovering the sophisticated methods used to harvest and store water in one of the world's driest regions. Saraf's water system wasn't just a solution to an environmental challenge, it was a testament to human ingenuity. For the residents of Saraf, water wasn't just a resource, it was a currency. What made Saraf's water management so revolutionary, and how can it still influence us today? At the core of Saraf's water management system were the thousands of rectangular holes carved into the mountainside. These holes, once thought to be graves, were actually carefully designed to capture and store water from flash floods. The floods that periodically washed over the region could be destructive, but the people of Saraf had learned to harness this force of nature to their advantage. Rather than letting the water disappear into the desert sands, they trapped it in these depressions, allowing it to be stored for use throughout the dry months. The next step in the process was just as ingenious. Once the water was collected, it needed to be transported to where it was needed, namely the city and its agricultural fields. This is where the canat system came in. These underground aqueducts, which ran for miles beneath the Earth's surface, were engineered to funnel water from the reservoirs down to the settlement below. This system not only preserved the water by protecting it from evaporation, but also ensured that it could be safely transported without the risk of contamination. By building canats, the people of Saraf were able to create an irrigation system that supported agriculture in a region where crops would otherwise never have been able to grow. This allowed them to cultivate olives, dates, and other essential crops, ensuring the city's self-sufficiency. It's believed that the canat system was also responsible for sustaining the livestock that lived in Saraf, providing them with the water needed to thrive in a desert environment. But the ingenuity of Saraf's water systems didn't stop with the canats. Researchers have discovered that the water collected in the reservoirs was often used for more than just drinking and irrigation. It was also used for trade, a valuable commodity in a world where access to fresh water could mean the difference between life and death. Ships passing through the Persian Gulf relied on Saraf's plentiful water supply, making the port an essential stop on long trading routes. This trade in water made Saraf a wealthy and influential city, even as its neighbors struggled to survive in the harsh desert landscape. The water harvesting techniques used in Saraf were so advanced that they remain unmatched in the region to this day. The city's ability to store water underground kept it cool and protected from the harsh desert sun, a practice that modern-day engineers would be hard-pressed to replicate. While today's technology might be able to mimic some aspects of Saraf's system, the precision with which the canats were constructed and maintained remains an awe-inspiring feat. As modern societies continue to grapple with water scarcity, there is much to learn from the ancient city of Saraf. What if we could implement similar systems in arid regions today, using ancient principles to combat the modern-day water crisis? Saraf's ancient water systems might just hold the key to solving some of the world's most pressing environmental issues. How much of Saraf's water technology was lost to history, and what other ancient civilizations might have mastered similar techniques that have yet to be discovered. The ingenious design of Saraf's water channels. What if we told you that the key to Saraf's success lay beneath the surface, literally, deep below the ground, hidden in a vast network of channels? A secret engineering marvel was at work: the canats. These underground water channels weren't just a convenience, they were the backbone of Saraf's survival in a desert where every drop of water was precious. But what made these canats so effective? And how did they transform Saraf from a struggling desert town to one of the most important ports in the Persian Gulf? The canats were constructed with one simple yet revolutionary principle in mind: efficient water transportation. They used gravity to move water from the reservoirs high in the mountains to the city and surrounding farmlands below. The beauty of this system was that it didn't require any pumps or complex machinery. Instead, it relied on the natural slope of the land to guide the water downwards, ensuring a continuous flow even in the hottest, driest conditions. The result? A reliable water supply that could be counted on year-round, no matter how erratic the rainfall. The construction of these canats wasn't just about digging tunnels, it was about perfecting a technique that would allow water to flow smoothly and steadily over long distances. Engineers would carefully calculate the slope of the land to ensure that the water could flow without interruption. The canats were often dug by hand, and some extended for miles beneath the earth, creating a labyrinth of underground waterways that remained hidden for centuries. The entire system was carefully designed to minimize water loss due to evaporation or seepage, keeping the water clean and cool as it traveled. The canat system was a triumph of both engineering and environmental knowledge. By utilizing natural resources like the slope of the land and the geological composition of the area, the people of Saraf were able to overcome the challenges posed by their harsh environment. This was a far cry from the more conventional methods of water transport used in other ancient cities, which often relied on above-ground aqueducts prone to evaporation and contamination. In contrast, the canat system kept water protected underground, allowing it to remain fresh and cool for longer periods of time. In addition to providing water for the city and its farms, the canat system also had a vital role in the city's trade. Saraf's strategic location made it a key port on the Persian Gulf, attracting merchants from India, China, and Africa. Ships would stop at Saraf not only to resupply with fresh water, but also to take advantage of the city's agricultural wealth. The canat system ensured that Saraf's water supply was abundant enough to meet the needs of both its residents and visiting ships, making the city an indispensable part of the region's trade network. What is perhaps most fascinating about Saraf's canat system is the level of precision and foresight that went into its construction. The architects and engineers who designed these underground channels understood the importance of sustainability. The canats were built to last, and many of them still exist today, a testament to the ancient ingenuity that made Saraf possible. But how much of this knowledge was lost when the city was abandoned after the earthquake in 977 CE? Did the secret of canat construction disappear along with the city? Or could similar systems be rediscovered in other parts of the world? Despite centuries of neglect, the canat system of Saraf offers valuable lessons for modern water management. In an age where water scarcity is becoming an increasingly urgent issue, the ancient solutions of Saraf might offer insights into how we can sustainably manage our own water resources. From irrigation to trade, from drinking water to crop cultivation, the canats of Saraf played a crucial role in the city's survival. Can we apply the principles of this ancient technology to address the water crises facing many parts of the world today? Could this ancient technology be the key to solving modern water shortages? As more and more areas face droughts and dwindling water supplies, could canats and their modern equivalents be the answer? The ingenuity of Saraf's water system may have been lost for centuries, but its potential for today's world is just beginning to be understood. The legacy of Persian desert engineering. What does it take to turn a barren desert into a thriving, bustling metropolis? For the ancient Persians, it took more than just resilience. It took innovation, engineering, and a deep understanding of the environment. The city of Saraf was not an anomaly in the Persian Empire. It was a product of a larger tradition of desert engineering that transformed the inhospitable Iranian plateau into a cradle of civilization. So, how did the Persians manage to conquer the desert? And what technologies did they develop that allowed them to build thriving cities in places no one else could? One of the key technologies that allowed the Persians to flourish in the desert was the windmill. Long before the European Middle Ages, the Persians had already harnessed the power of the wind to grind grain and pump water. Windmills became a ubiquitous feature of Persian landscapes, enabling farmers to water crops and mill flour without relying on scarce human labor or water-powered mills. The use of wind as an energy source was a clear indication of the Persians' ingenuity in using natural resources to their advantage. But the windmill wasn't the only innovation the Persians brought to the desert. In addition to windmills, they also pioneered the first refrigeration system. In an age before electricity, the Persians developed a method for cooling food and preserving it for storage. They built ice houses, deep underground chambers where ice and snow were stored to keep perishable food cool. This technique was revolutionary in a time when refrigeration was a distant dream, and it demonstrated the Persians' ability to manipulate their environment to solve everyday problems. The Persians also developed one of the world's first postal services, creating a vast network of postal routes that allowed for the rapid exchange of messages across their empire. In a time when communication was often slow and unreliable, the Persian postal system was a game changer, ensuring that information could be delivered quickly and efficiently. This system was so effective that it became a model for other empires, influencing postal services throughout history. In the realm of agriculture, the Persians excelled as well. Their irrigation systems, which included canats and sophisticated reservoirs, allowed them to grow crops in areas that would have otherwise been unsuitable for farming. In a region where water was scarce, the Persians devised ways to capture and store every drop. Their knowledge of hydrology and their ability to manipulate water resources laid the foundation for agricultural success in the harshest of climates. But what makes these innovations even more remarkable is the fact that they were developed in a time long before modern technologies. The Persian Empire was not a civilization that had access to advanced machinery or modern tools, yet they managed to create systems and technologies that allowed them to thrive in some of the world's most inhospitable environments. Their ability to adapt to and manipulate their surroundings speaks to a level of intelligence and resourcefulness that was centuries ahead of its time. As we look at the legacy of Persian engineering, it's hard not to be impressed by their achievements. From windmills to canats, from ice houses to postal systems, the Persians demonstrated an unparalleled ability to innovate and adapt. Their technologies didn't just serve the needs of the empire, they transformed the way people lived and worked in the desert. In many ways, the Persian Empire was the blueprint for modern desert civilizations, showing us how to thrive in the face of extreme environmental challenges. But as we marvel at these ancient achievements, we must ask, how much of this knowledge has been lost over time? The collapse of the Persian Empire led to the abandonment of many of these technologies, and much of the ancient wisdom was forgotten. Could the secrets of Persian desert engineering still be hidden beneath the sands, waiting to be rediscovered? And more importantly, could these forgotten technologies hold the key to solving modern challenges like climate change and water scarcity? Will the legacy of Persian desert engineering remain buried in history? Or can we revive these ancient techniques to help shape the future? The answers may lie in the deserts of the Iranian plateau, where the genius of ancient engineers continues to inspire the world. Strategic location in ancient trade. Why was Saraf so vital to the ancient world? And how did its geographical position help it thrive despite the harsh desert surroundings? Situated at the crossroads of several ancient trade routes, Saraf wasn't just a port, it was a key hub that connected east and west. For centuries, this small but powerful city played a crucial role in facilitating trade between India, Southeast Asia, Africa, and the Middle East. But what made this location so strategically valuable? The answer lies in Saraf's natural features, from its proximity to the Persian Gulf to its access to the wealth of resources and markets in the region. The coastal location of Saraf was perfect for maritime trade. Ships could easily dock at the city's port to unload goods, resupply with water, and continue their journey across the seas. What made this even more remarkable was the reliability of the city's water supply. At a time when ships traversed vast distances across the oceans, knowing that Saraf had an abundant and dependable water source was a significant advantage. Merchants from all over the world knew that when they arrived at Saraf, they could replenish their water supply and stock up on fresh produce, making it an essential pit stop on the trade route. In addition to providing fresh water, Saraf's location allowed it to serve as a transshipment point for valuable goods. The city was strategically placed near other trading centers, making it an ideal location for merchants looking to connect with different markets. For example, goods from India and Africa could be brought into Saraf, where they would be transferred to ships heading to the Red Sea, the Arabian Peninsula, and even China. This interconnected network of trade routes made Saraf not only a thriving port city, but also a gateway to a larger world of commerce. The importance of Saraf's strategic location can also be seen in the way it facilitated cultural exchanges. Because of its position as a maritime hub, Saraf became a melting pot of different cultures and ideas. Merchants, travelers, and scholars from across the globe passed through Saraf, bringing with them new technologies, philosophies, and religious practices. The exchange of ideas was as crucial as the exchange of goods, and Saraf played a key role in spreading Persian culture to distant parts of the world. This cultural dynamism helped the city stay relevant and influential long after the trade routes shifted elsewhere. As the centuries passed, however, Saraf's fortunes began to change. The earthquake of 977 CE left the city in ruins, causing a catastrophic shift in the region's trade dynamics. But even after the city's fall, its legacy continued to live on. The knowledge and technologies developed in Saraf, particularly in water management and trade logistics, remained valuable to the cultures that succeeded it. The city's role as a vital port in the ancient world has left an indelible mark on history, and its decline marked the beginning of a new chapter in the region's commercial and cultural evolution. What is most intriguing about Saraf's decline is how its fall echoed the larger shifts happening in the Persian Gulf and beyond. As trade moved away from Saraf and other ancient hubs, new cities and ports emerged, often incorporating the lessons learned from Saraf's successes and failures. The technology and systems that had once made Saraf an essential part of global trade were adopted and adapted by new civilizations, allowing them to thrive in ways Saraf itself had not. This raises an interesting question. Could Saraf's rise and fall have been a catalyst for the development of other maritime cities and trade hubs in the region? If so, how much of Saraf's legacy lives on in the modern world? And can we trace the roots of today's global trade systems back to this ancient desert city? The answers might lie in the remnants of the ancient city, still visible in the mountains above Saraf, where scientists and archaeologists continue to explore the mysteries of its past. Could the lessons learned from Saraf's strategic location and role in ancient trade help us understand the dynamics of modern trade networks? How much can we learn from Saraf's successes in the context of contemporary global commerce, especially in a world where trade routes are once again shifting due to technological, political, and environmental factors, the water crisis, and the quest for solutions? Why does the ancient water system of Saraf seem so relevant today? As modern cities around the world face growing water shortages, the ingenuity of ancient civilizations like Saraf provides vital lessons in sustainable water management. The question is, can we learn from their methods to solve today's global water crisis? With over 2 billion people worldwide facing water scarcity, finding reliable, cost-effective solutions is more important than ever. Could Saraf's ancient methods of water collection and storage offer a modern solution to this pressing issue. In Saraf, the canats and underground water channels were more than just a means of irrigation. They were a life-saving infrastructure that allowed the city to thrive in a harsh environment. These ancient water systems harnessed natural rainfall and flash floods, capturing and storing water in underground reservoirs that could provide for the city's population throughout the year. This method of water management was not only practical, but also environmentally sustainable, as it minimized water loss and kept the water clean and cool for longer periods. Today, many regions around the world are dealing with similar challenges. Droughts, erratic rainfall, and over-extraction of groundwater are leading to severe water shortages. In some areas, entire aquifers are running dry, leaving communities without reliable access to water. In response, some modern cities are turning to ancient methods, such as rainwater harvesting and underground water storage, to help mitigate the effects of the water crisis. Saraf's canat system, which allowed water to flow gently through the earth without significant evaporation or contamination, could provide valuable insights for modern water management. In areas where freshwater sources are increasingly scarce, underground reservoirs offer an efficient way to store and preserve water. These ancient techniques could be adapted for modern use, particularly in regions where groundwater levels are sinking and surface water supplies are unpredictable. In addition to storing water, the canats of Saraf also helped manage floodwater. The city's engineers had developed an elaborate system to capture and channel floodwaters during the rainy season, preventing erosion and flooding, while ensuring that excess water was stored for later use. This flood management system was a testament to the Persian people's deep understanding of hydrology and their ability to work with, rather than against, nature. As climate change leads to more extreme weather events worldwide, flood management systems like those used in Saraf could prove invaluable in reducing the damage caused by floods and ensuring that water is used sustainably. What makes this ancient water technology even more relevant today is its ability to provide a model for decentralized water management. In contrast to modern centralized water systems, which require large-scale infrastructure and significant energy inputs, Saraf's canat system was decentralized and relied on simple, gravity-powered channels to transport water. This type of system could be particularly effective in rural and remote areas where traditional water infrastructure is difficult or expensive to maintain. As global cities continue to grow and the pressures on water resources increase, the question must be asked, can ancient water systems like the canats of Saraf be the key to solving our modern water crisis? With the right adaptations and innovations, these ancient methods could not only provide sustainable water for today's cities, but also offer a path toward a more resilient and equitable future. Can we replicate the successes of Saraf's water management system in the 21st century? What if we could tap into ancient knowledge to tackle one of the world's most pressing challenges, rediscovering ancient water management in modern times? The ancient Persian city of Saraf presents a remarkable example of how ancient civilizations mastered water management in even the most arid, challenging environments. The canat system, used to channel water from underground aquifers, enabled the city to thrive, despite the scarcity of natural water sources. This system relied on gravity to transport water, making it both energy efficient and resilient. Modern efforts to combat water scarcity, especially in regions affected by climate change, are looking to reintroduce these ancient methods as part of the solution to global water shortages. In fact, some Middle Eastern and Asian regions are already revitalizing canats, with promising results in improving local water security. The key to implementing ancient technologies like canats in modern times lies in adaptation and innovation. By combining ancient methods with contemporary technology, like solar-powered pumps, these systems can help meet current and future water demands. As the world grapples with environmental challenges, such systems offer sustainable, eco-friendly solutions that can be scaled globally. Could the ancient water systems of Saraf offer the world a sustainable path forward in the face of the global water crisis? As we face increasingly severe environmental challenges, it's clear that the solutions may not only lie in advanced modern technology, but also in the age-old practices that have stood the test of time. The ingenuity of ancient civilizations, like that of Saraf, offers us a blueprint for creating a sustainable future. By adapting their methods to meet the demands of the present day, we might just find the key to solving the water crisis and building a more resilient, harmonious world. Could the wisdom of the past hold the answers we need today? The future of water management may very well depend on rediscovering and reimagining these ancient technologies. Could ancient water management systems like the ones in Saraf hold the key to solving today's water crisis? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more exciting insights. Until next time.